So faux leather is fashion's favorite lie. Wow. That is a pretty bold statement, isn't it? But honestly, according to experts across the resale and sustainable fashion space, it's the absolute truth. Faux leather is essentially just plastic that's destined to crack and peel, which is the total opposite of real leather that just gets infinitely better with age. Today, we're looking at a massive shift happening right now in the fashion industry as we head into 2026. Consumers are totally waking up. They're ditching fast fashion's really lackluster fabrics and fully embracing what's being called principled consumption.
And if you think this is just some fringe movement, well, the data says otherwise in a huge way. The secondhand apparel market is projected to hit a staggering $367 billion by 2029. I mean, let that number sink in for a second. That's a fundamental change in behavior. Shoppers are trading in those cheaply made disposable dupes for curated archives of garments that actually hold their value over time.
So, welcome to our latest explainer. Today, our goal is twofold. First, we're going to master the 2026 aesthetic trend forecast, looking at exactly what styles are dominating the market right now. And second, we're going to learn how to actually source the garments for these aesthetics like an absolute pro, because we are officially moving from basic bargain hunting to downright asset management. Here's a quick look at our roadmap today. We're going to cover the 2026 resale mindset, coastal and fisherman core, preppy, romantic, and Y2K trends. Then we'll cover how to spot high-quality fabrics and wrap up with the IT Girl checklist. All right, let's jump right in. Section 1, the 2026 resale mindset and how we're moving away from fast fashion. For years, the fashion industry just operated on this take, make, and waste model. But we're officially entering the circular economy. 2026 is really the year of radical individuality, which brings us to this defining mindset: principled consumption. Consumers are rebelling against dupe culture, where everyone just kind of looks exactly the same. The vibe now is to buy fewer items, but buy much, much better items. And this is also being driven by some new demands for transparency. Things like the EU's digital product passports are making traceability the new luxury, literally allowing buyers to scan an item's entire journey just to prove its quality. Moving on to Section 2. Let's talk coastal and fisherman core, which is basically that effortless Euro summer aesthetic. This vibe is absolutely dominating the racks right now. It's really less about looking perfectly polished and way more about that relaxed, functional, lived-in vacation energy. If you want to build this fisherman core or Euro summer wardrobe, you need to look for specific tactile items. 100% linen is literally your holy grail. Seriously, if you see it, grab it. You're also looking for cotton gauze, oversized button-downs, woven textures, and of course, fisherman sandals. Buyers today are hunting for these specific vibe-based keywords way more than they're looking for traditional brand names. All right, Section 3, preppy, romantic, and Y2K, or the journey from tennis court to caprice.
So that super minimal clean girl look from the past few years, it has officially evolved into a few distinct camps. If you're going for that sporty prep vibe, think wealthy tennis club, you'll want to source pleated skirts, polos, and quarter zips. The romantic or coquette aesthetic is all about soft feminine layers, so keep an eye out for sheer fabrics and lace-trimmed camisoles. Gorp core is still massive for functional, technical outdoor gear like nylon cargo pants. And then, yep, there's the Y2K revival. Believe it or not, early 2000s nostalgia is hitting hard, and things like caprice, pedal pushers, and metallic finishes are back in a really big way.
Okay, knowing the trends is great, but it's really only half the battle. Once you're out there, the critical question becomes, how do you actually spot true quality when you're thrifting for these aesthetics? Like, how do you know a piece is actually going to survive in your closet? Which brings us to Section 4, spotting high-quality fabrics. It's the ultimate showdown of natural versus synthetic. Think of this as your masterclass in materials. If you're going to treat your wardrobe as a curated collection of assets, you absolutely have to know your fibers. The golden rule for 2026 sourcing is natural only. You want to prioritize silk, wool, linen, and vegetable tanned leather. Pit those against synthetics like polyester or acrylic, and that dreaded vegan leather we talked about at the very beginning. Synthetics often just feel plasticky. They do not breathe well at all, and they deteriorate so fast. But natural fibers, they actually soften, adapt, and age beautifully over decades. And the best part is, you can literally use your senses to test these materials right there in the aisle. Real silk doesn't just shine, it practically glows and makes this very distinctive rustle sound. For linen, check the tags. Vintage Irish or Belgian labels are absolutely top tier. To test wool or cashmere, just give it a gentle stretch. High-quality wool is going to spring back immediately, while the cheap stuff just bags out. And for vegetable tanned leather, do the smell test. It should smell rich and earthy, not like a harsh chemical factory. But beyond the fabric itself, you've got to look closely at the construction. Take a good look at the hem. For dresses and skirts, you want to look for a bias cut. This basically means the fabric was cut at a 45-degree angle. It drapes so beautifully and really sculpts to the body, but here's the secret: it requires way more fabric and skill to execute. Fast fashion brands almost always skip this just to save money. You should also peek inside the garment to look for French seams. These enclose the raw edges of the fabric, and they are another massive indicator of high-end manufacturing that totally justifies a purchase.
Which perfectly leads us to Section 5, the IT Girl Checklist, your ultimate sourcing strategy.
So we've talked trends and we've talked fabrics. Now for the highly practical parts, evaluating these garments before you ever reach the checkout counter. Walk yourself through this catchy IT Girl checklist right there in the store. I is for intentional. Is it actually on your thrift list? T is for treasure. Is it unique, hidden gem? G is for girl math. Does the price make sense for the value? I is for investment. Are you going to wear this for years? R is for real. Is it true quality or just someone's discarded fast fashion? And finally, L for luxury. If it's an incredible designer find, grab it. Now, once your cart is full of potential finds, do what the experts call the quiet corner edit. Find a spot, get out of the way, and rigorously inspect everything. Check the hardware. A missing button is a super easy fix, but a busted zipper usually isn't worth the headache. Inspect high-friction areas like armpits, knees, and hems. Do the smell test. Trust me on this, smoke, mold, and heavy BO are practically impossible to wash out. Check wool to make sure it hasn't been improperly shrunk in someone's dryer. And finally, always bring a tape measure with you because vintage sizing is wildly inconsistent compared to modern tags. Just a quick tip on ethical sourcing while we're at it. While finding these pieces is great and keeps clothes out of landfills, we do want to be mindful about how we shop. A really good rule of thumb in the thrifting community is to avoid clearing out high-need, low-stock items. We're talking things like plus-size clothing or heavy winter coats, especially if you happen to be shopping in lower-income areas. It just helps ensure those essential items stay accessible to the communities who rely on them the most. When you embrace these aesthetics, really master fabric identification, and rigorously inspect your items, you completely change your relationship with clothing. So I want to leave you with this final thought. Will your 2026 wardrobe be a collection of fleeting dupes destined for the landfill, or will it be a carefully curated archive of timeless, high-quality assets? The choice is entirely yours, and the thrill of the hunt is waiting out there. Happy sourcing.